Hello and welcome, adventurers, to another episode of Underdark Cellars. Today we are continuing our homage to all things Crescent City by making the pizza order that Bryce and her friends made in Crescent City 2. So we will go ahead and get started. Alright, so to activate your yeast, you need to take your active dry yeast and put that in a large bowl with a little bit of sugar. I did about a half teaspoon, and your warm water. This water needs to be between 111 and 116 degrees Fahrenheit. Otherwise, it will not bloom. Also, if you're working with active dry yeast, you need to give it a little bit of sugar to help it get started. But you'll see here that this bubbling is what we want to see. This is the yeast activating and feeding on those sugars and releasing gases so that they will help leaven our pizza dough. So this, however, is not what it should look like. If your yeast looks like this, you either messed up on the temperature, or you have old yeast, or you did not feed your yeast. So this is not what it should look like. It should look nice and foamy after about 10 minutes like it does here. To that, we're going to add our pizza flour. You can use all-purpose flour, but the protein is a little different, so you might need to add more in order to fully absorb, but I use pizza flour here. We're just going to slowly integrate this, and then once it comes together kind of as like a shaggy mixture, we're going to start using our hands to start kneading the dough. Kneading is really important because it produces gluten, which allows the dough to stretch out and be nice and chewy. So we're going to knead this for about 20 minutes. If we need to add more flour, that's okay. It shouldn't be tacky like this. It should be, it should still stick to your hand a little bit like it does here. But yes, so once you think it's done, give it a little poke test, and it should bounce back. Now here it doesn't bounce back, so I needed to knead it for a little bit longer. And then once you're done kneading, and it does indeed bounce right back right here, you're going to get a bowl and put some olive oil on the inside, wipe that around, and then we're going to plop the dough in the bowl, flip that over so when the dough rises it doesn't dry out in the middle of the skin. And then we're going to set this in a warm place to rise for about an hour and a half to 2 hours, maybe even 2.5 hours. You just need it to double in size. Moving on to our super easy homemade pizza sauce, we're going to start by using a can of peeled tomatoes. I use some Marzano and then some fresh ground black pepper. And then to counter that tinniness that you'll get with canned tomatoes, you're going to add a tiny bit of sugar and then blitz it. Once it's smooth, taste and season to preference. I wanted something a little mild to let the rest of the pizza shine, so I added about a half teaspoon of salt and some more black pepper, and then I was wanting to spice things up just a tiny bit, so I added about 3 cloves of garlic that I put through a garlic crusher. And once that's done, I just stirred it up and I put it in the fridge until I was ready to use. This is much cheaper than a can. Real quick, we're just gonna cook our toppings. I had about a pound of hot Italian sausage that I cooked down. And then once that was cooked down, I cooked about a half pound of thick sliced hickory smoked bacon. If you are struggling to get your bacon to crisp fast enough, don't turn up the heat, just remove some excess bacon grease and that helps. And then I am putting my bacon and my sausage in paper towel lined containers and pressing down to remove as much extra grease as possible. Now, Bryce and her friends really like onion. 2 of the pizza orders have pepperoni with grilled onion and sausage with grilled onion and extra cheese, so we really went heavy on the onions. I'm just going to slice them into discs, and then in a hot pan I'm going to put some avocado oil down to help with the browning, and I'm going to pop these slices down, let them cook for about 3 minutes on each side. If they fall apart, they fall apart. We're just gonna keep these cooking until they are nice and golden and have a little bit of dark brown charring on the side, and then once that's done we're gonna transfer it to a plate. All right, it is time to roll out our pizza dough. It has like tripled in size. I'm feeling really good about it. So we're going to transfer this to our work surface and sprinkle a little bit of extra flour on top. Now, I doubled this recipe so that I can make pizza again next week. So I'm going to divide this into 8 even little dough balls, but the original recipe will produce 4. So I doubled mine, but once we cut it, we're going to cover it with the same cloth from earlier, and then we're going to let that rest for another about half hour. And then if you want to make double and store them, just wrap them tightly in plastic wrap and then pop the dough balls in a Ziploc and then put that Ziploc in the freezer, and it'll keep for about 3 months. To use, you'll just pull it out of the freezer and put it in the fridge the night before, and then you're ready to go. Alright, time to roll out our pizza. So we're going to take our dough, I'm going to flour both sides, and then I'm going to use my rolling pin to make some impressions to make sure it helps roll out into a circle. And then I'm going to do this until it reaches about 12-inch diameter. That's good to feed 1 to 2 people. I made a couple of these for my family of 3. And then once that is rolled, we're going to transfer it to a baking sheet. You don't need a pizza stone. Again, you can use this with what you can do this with what you've got. We're going to top that with our pizza sauce that we made. And then we're going to top this with a lot of cheese. This first pizza they ordered was sausage and onion with extra cheese. So we're going to generously top this pizza with some mozzarella cheese. We're going to add the sausage crumbles from earlier and our onions. And then, of course, extra cheese means more cheese on top. Moving on to the carnivore. Now, the book doesn't explicitly say what is on this pizza, so I imagine it's kind of like a meat lover's delight situation. So I decided to put pepperoni and salami and some diced ham. You could use Canadian bacon if you wish, but I did diced ham. And then the sausage crumbles from earlier and some bacon crumbles. And then to kind of just make sure all the toppings don't completely fall off the pizza, I just added a little more cheese on top, so it'll kind of like make sure everything kind of sticks in place. But this is so perfect for all the meat lovers in your household. My husband loved this. And then the next one is pepperoni with grilled onions. So again, we're just gonna pop down our pepperoni, and then we're gonna pop down the grilled onions from earlier, again with those little charred bits. And then some more cheese on top, and then we're going to put that in the oven. Now I had an extra pizza dough ball, so I just made a simple cheese topped with some basil leaves. Time for a really, really easy side salad since we all need vegetables, and we're eating pizza, so please don't eat just pizza alone. Please have your veggies, but we're going to make a really simple arugula salad with our arugula and some balsamic vinegar and extra virgin olive oil that we whisk together, and then we're going to toss the arugula in that extra virgin olive oil mixture. Kind of massage it in there. It's okay if you bruise a little bit of the arugula. And then we're going to top that with some fresh grated Parmesan cheese, and then we're going to toss that together, and that just adds like a nice saltiness and nuttiness. And this is great with pizza. It's great with most Italian food to cut through the richness of those dishes. Alright, time to cut our pizza. It's out of the oven. I popped these in the oven at 475 for about 20 minutes and double checked that the bottom of the crust was nice and golden. We don't want soggy pizza. But check out the cheese pull. Oh, it's beautiful. Yes. These pizzas were a hit, man. I don't quite understand Bryce and Friends' fascination with like all things onion, but I will say they were very delicious. I will definitely make that carnivore again. That was surprisingly good. Not too overpowering and not too greasy. I think that's partly due to me, blotting everything dry before I put it on there. But it was really good. I'd probably do some more veggie pizza options. I tend to prefer those, but everyone's preferences are different. That brings us to the end of this video. Thanks so much for sticking around, and I hope you get inspired to make some pizza from scratch. It makes a great family or friends night in. You can customize pizzas and everyone can share. But yeah, if you like this video, give it a like. If you have questions or comments or want to see something, put them down below and I do my best to respond. And please subscribe. Also, feel free to click one of the other links that are on screen. It helps YouTube know that you like our content. But we will see you next time, adventurers. Stay tuned for some tasty treats, and I'll see you next time. Bye!